welcome to another fun episode of the Yankee and Canuck. And well, I'll be the Canuck. And
Is this going to be like Sheldon Cooper's Fun with Flags?
what? Sheldon Cooper. Here's my two Yankees. We have JC up top, of course. Well, to me he is, and then we have Sean. The actual host of the thing. I don't know why I'm doing this. I guess just to mix it up, be a bit different. I don't know, but here we are. And
Listen,
tonight,
he was held hostage to the group chats, but we broke him out for this special episode.
that is a fun room.
Oh, by the way, I sent the live video link to your friends over in your friend chat.
Oh, good. Because I don't know how to do that, so I said JC would do it, and I forgot to even mention that before we started. I know I put you on the spot there.
I'll send it. I'll send it to the little girl from New Zealand.
Oh, that's nice. Hey, she's a nice Kiwi. Leave her alone. Gosh. You know what? Speaking of different countries, I really wanted to start off with America tonight because the beating America's been taking, especially from us Canucks, is ridiculous. We have this Buy Canadian program going on that started. You already know about the tariffs and whatnot that we've got started from Trump and, of course, us as well.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
I hope not. You know what? I also heard that it dropped a percentage point just this month. Why? Because we've had some dealings with the USMC, Mexico, Canada. What do they call that? USMCA. Yeah. So we've said some things under there. So we've lowered a percentage point, trying to, I guess, fight back somehow. I don't know. But this Buy Canadian program is not what's doing it. As a matter of fact, I got to say, gentlemen, what that really means here is you can buy from anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be Canadian. It just can't be America. That's what bothers me the most because you know what? Trump's opposing, United Nations policy being dictated to America how they should live their lives through United Nations lenses. But no one says anything about Hungary or Poland. No, they're against United Nations immigration, policies and all the rest of it going on. No one says anything about those two nations. And they're right, too. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. They're absolutely right. But America, everybody's focused on hating America because, well, they're getting rid of the immigrants and they're not following UN policy, which is good for America. I wish that's where we ended up so we can be finally an independent nation. And yeah, let's not get into the crown yet, Sean or JC. Yeah, we got to get rid of that. But yeah, right now, just United Nations is all we can handle. If we can just succeed at doing that, we'll be so much better off. But yeah, I don't know what you guys have heard about, the Buy Canadian thing and all the ridiculous things that we've been doing, like taking the American.
Haven't heard a word.
Well,
because it doesn't affect us at all. Even though the media up there will tell you you're being patriotic and we're really crushing the Orange Man, and we don't notice it at all. We don't like the companies. Like even the liquor companies that was a heavy import into Canada are saying,
yeah,
we really don't notice it. Yeah, sales have dropped a little, but there's only
that much.
The market is so small.
Yeah,
39 million people total. Out of that, 40% of them drink American whiskey?
Probably.
So, Edward, you're going to force us to buy Jack Daniels. How awful.
Right?
And you know what? Yeah, we're not even the size of California population-wise, so why they think this is going to be so disastrous for the U.S. economy is beyond me. But this is the idiots we have up here leading this country.
Years of lecturing us from the lofty heights of the left-wing moral high ground, with us just basically shrugging our shoulders and paying no attention. And why do you all distrust government so much? Why do you all need guns? Why, what is it about Americans? You're so violent. You're this, you're that. You think everybody's out to get you. Brother, if they don't see that everybody is out to get us by now, they'll never see it. I mean, come on. Do
It's
you guys,
true. Uh,
how long ago was it that, I mean, they're still going after Tamara Lish. I mean,
I
you
know.
guys are still in the middle of a J6 prosecution, and it seems like, oh, but America's the bad guy. You
I
got to
know.
be kidding. Mark
I know.
Carney and the WEF are the bad guys.
I know it, but they can't see it. And this is what we're talking about. Actually, we're fighting. America really is fighting the entire world. Trump has taken on the entire world, the leadership of, and we're fighting against them as well. Just people don't understand that. They see liberals as bad guys, and they are. I mean, they got the leaders because our party picks the leader. It's not like you guys where you pick your leader. Our liberal party
We
picks the leader.
try.
Well,
We mostly steal the damn
That's
election.
right.
Yeah.
so we get these liberal, dum dums picking another dum dum to be the leader of the dum dums, which really is liberalism at its finest, and that's what we're stuck with. With this fearless leader leading this country, right down the garden path. Well, actually, right into the ground, really.
Edward, let me bring up the names: Gordon Brown, Liz Truss,
Yeah,
Richie Sunak. Whenever I get one of those UK guys that's going on about America, I go, did you vote for Richie Sunak? I said, who did vote for Richie Sunak? Nobody. You woke up one day and he was your prime minister, and you're like, oh, okay.
I
Oh,
know.
Sunak, yeah.
Right.
Oh no, we don't like him either. Jeremy Corbyn. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
There's
there's
not a
another.
dime's worth of not a dime's worth of difference.
You know,
None.
you bring up a good point though, because remember the Brexit thing that happened, and they voted to leave the European Union, and nothing
Yep.
happened. Nothing happened,
They,
and they said,
they
"Well, we're going to
throttled it.
revote." What's that?
They throttled it.
I
They
know.
absolutely bureaucratized it and slowed it down and slow walked it until it was a non-event.
And then we had another election. They said, it's all going to be on, the Brexit again, the leaving. This time,
You
I'm
had
sure.
Carney installed.
Yeah,
There was no
Yes,
election.
it was
I
just like
know.
Biden.
I
It's just like
know.
Biden. Mark Carney is your Joe Biden.
Exactly right. And I'll be damned if I'm going to, because it's so much easier, because I really do want to swim across there, and you can pick me up in Detroit, and I'll
Yep,
be in
I'll be
America.
there.
I
I'll
really,
be there.
a very good voice. I really want to do that, but you know what? I can't resist the temptation of just staying here, and fighting it out. Because you know what? I'll be damned if I want these libtards to win. And this is, maybe my undoing, but I'm just so put off with this liberal mindset that I really feel the necessity or the need to stay and just stand up to them, just and call them out for what they are. And I'm talking more than just traitors, because they're all that and more, but they're so ridiculous in their thinking that someone has to bring that to our attention, once and for all, because the media, saying this or that, it's not doing their job. It's not doing them any justice, or us either. Our CBC is even worse than your CNN, if you can believe that, or MSNBC with those two. I forget the Morning Joe, whatever her name is now. I can't remember, but
Mika.
absolute flakes. Those two are, so yeah, it's worse than them, if you can imagine. But yeah,
Well, they lost their network. MSDNC couldn't find a buyer for their network, so they're relabeling it as M Snow or MS multiple
MS now.
sclerosis now.
I love that.
It's going to become a podcast network like many of the others, and it's going to eventually
True.
leave cable
Yeah,
networks because
yeah,
they
I
couldn't
agree.
find a buyer.
No,
PMS NBC is now PMS Now in honor of their host.
good one. I couldn't believe the MSDNC that Trump had called that, when he was talking about that. And by the way, nobody's watching.
PMS Now.
Yeah, no one's watching late
Yeah.
night TV anymore, boys. Nobody. The percentages as far as late night TV watchers goes is almost nil. The
It-
podcasts
It's
and the networks that are on the web right now, are what's taking over. You got spaces and chats and all other things that people are tuning into and rather listen to than the nonsense we've had to put up with on, network news and other stations. If you can call some of that stuff comedy with what Stephen Colbert and some of the other ones, it was, if you take the laugh tracks off, you're just dumbified sitting there thinking that wasn't even funny. That's how stupid some of the writers are, because they're not paying them very much money either, by the way. Most of
But
his
yet,
problem
but yet,
too.
even Colbert, when he had on the sumo governor of Illinois, finally rose up on his hind legs and says, it strikes me as odd that you're harboring all these people protesting gerrymandering when you are the biggest gerrymandered state of all. I mean, how can you possibly be against gerrymandering when here's your map, and he put it up on the TV, and Sumo Pritzker froze, and then gave some just half-assed dissembling answer that meant nothing, and of
Oh
course
yeah, he said
Colbert,
we're following the law. Donald Trump
yeah,
is
yeah,
not. We're following the law.
You know what?
yeah, couldn't give a damn what the law was.
Yeah,
Couldn't give a
coming
damn.
from Chicago, yeah, I have to agree. But have you heard what's going on in Texas with the redistricting? And have you been
Well,
keeping up with that
this
at
is where
all?
that conversation all starts with
Oh,
Texas.
all right.
Said they wanted to do a recheck of the census and redistrict. It's totally lawful in their state.
It
It's
sure is.
totally it is
And
not lawful in California without a constitutional amendment. Gavin Newsom doesn't get a shit, so he'll unlawfully do the same thing.
Try to do it and get
Yeah,
struck down. Yeah, that's what he'll do.
Illinois requires a constitutional amendment to do it, and they have had constitutional amendments to do a district redraw,
One
but
party
they don't
rule, yeah.
currently have one. Massachusetts, they have to get a constitutional amendment, and they're saying New York, same thing. They're saying
Sean,
we're going to redistrict, and all of them in their state constitution says you have to make an amendment to the Constitution, which means putting a vote to the people. Will you let us redistrict before our 10-year term?
but Massachusetts already has 0 Republican representatives.
I
So
was,
why not?
I
What
was
what
reading
what
those
can you
charts.
do?
Correct. Yeah. And talk about gerrymandering, which that wasn't even a term when I first heard it. I don't know, maybe a couple months ago. It didn't even make any sense to me. What are you
It's
talking
been
about?
in America. It's been around for as long as I can remember. The
Oh,
voters hate it, but it's lawful. It's lawful. The only way you can make it unlawful is to write a state amendment, and I hope they do that at some point. But it's totally lawful.
But don't you
for
think
those
they're
of
doing it
you
in
for
Texas
those
now?
of you that for those of you that like history, I can give a very short exegesis. All right. The year you've heard me lament the years between 1910 and 1920 as some of the most massive mistakes ever made by the U.S. government. The Federal Reserve, direct election of senators. For you, king of the group chat, women's voting. Okay, all right, yeah, that was in there. Okay, the income tax. How many more mistakes can you make? But one
Yeah.
of the most subtle and ridiculous mistakes was the House of Representatives was always apportioned by population. And in that same decade, they capped the number of seats in the House of Representatives at 435. They decided to forget about population. Let's just run districts in each state and let the states decide what the districts are. So what was magic about 435? Well, we didn't have enough desks, or whatever. I mean, run 2 sessions. It's not so hard. You're not
Yeah.
doing anything anyway. Have
Correct.
some of them meet one day and then the others meet the next day. You don't have to build a new Capitol building. You certainly don't have to cap representation, but the objective by the progressives, of course,
Oh yeah.
was to make the districts bigger so the big boys could control more votes. That's all it is. And here are the spoils of victory. And the Democrats have been hyper aggressive with this ever
Oh
since
yeah.
they started losing their electoral viability. And the Republicans have done what Republicans do. They've sat there and watched them do it, frozen in the headlights like deer. And this is the very first time that there's been any sort of significant pushback, and the Democrats are going crazy that
Well,
Republicans are going to do what they have done for 100 years.
and you know what? I got to say, looking at Texas, that's 9 extra seats if you keep with this Republican
Yes,
wise. So I think, balancing this out, and yeah, just not Texas, just go state by state, then fine. If you need, make amendments, go ahead and do that. But I think it definitely needs to be addressed once and for all. I think Texas is doing a great job, bringing that to everybody's attention finally. But yeah, we got to get this under control. But
it's a joke. It's a joke that Nebraska has any Democrat members of the House. It's a joke that Missouri has any Democrat members of the House. Missouri is as ruby red as any state in the union, but we have rhino issues just like Georgia, and Texas is the worst. They're the worst with the
really,
rhinos. Do you realize that, and Sean, next, believe me, every single assembly committee in Texas, the vice chair is a fucking Democrat.
oh, yeah.
Every single committee.
Which surprises me from Texas, really. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, I do want to mention this.
Sorry.
I do want to mention this. So, Democrat stronghold states and the ultra red stronghold states, through gerrymandering, have basically super majorities in their states at the state legislature level, and for the
Yes.
most part at the federal level. And what happens with that, and I could use Indiana as a perfect example, is then once you get a supermajority and you have it gerrymandered so that you never are going to get a challenger or a new idea, or maybe a Democrat wins your seat because you suck at what you do, then they just all stop working.
Right.
All of them, they just stop working.
And Sean, they start cutting deals. And the real estate and the financial people in the state start to take over, and the representatives enrich themselves because they're in safe seats and they know they won't lose. They know there's a 95% plus retention rate for incumbents, so they press the envelope, fatten their own wallets,
All
and
right.
sit back and go, "Oh, those damn Democrats, there was nothing we could do."
Yeah, that sounds exactly what goes on up here for crying out loud.
That's
No
called
politics.
King Edward. That's called human nature.
It's human nature.
It's true.
Well,
Yeah.
and if you really wanted to do this the right way, you would literally just take a grid and drop it on each state. And as population changes between one county, like in Indiana, say Northwest Indiana County to the center, Indianapolis, then you move a few seats around here and there.
Well, that's more.
Nobody likes gerrymandering. All I'm saying is it's lawful. And
Yeah.
I'm okay with President Trump going, hey, Democrats, you've been doing this for 100 years. So screw you. I'm winning the midterms.
You know what, gents? That's exactly what's going on up here, where it's so imbalanced. The Western provinces have hardly any say because they're underrepresented. We have these smaller libtard provinces out east where they
Nova
have
Scotia,
yeah, and you got New Brunswick and no,
anything that
Well, but
touches water.
you guys don't even have an electoral college, at least
yeah, we do.
at the do
We
you?
do that, but it's just
At,
how
at
we.
the presidential level, we have the electoral college, so even
Mhm.
Idaho gets a vote.
Well, and this is what I'm getting to is because ours is stacked so unequally. So, like I said, the East, which has some of these provinces, have hardly anything for population, but yet they got the most senators and represent. I'm thinking, how does that happen? When you go out west, the Western provinces, you're into the 4 and 5 million people, which is not a lot for you guys, but for us it is. And like Alberta and well, Saskatchewan's even less, but nonetheless, they maybe have two, and that's it. That's all you're getting for any representation whatsoever. And so, of course, these smaller little provinces will have hardly anybody. 7 and 8. I mean, how does that? So yeah, we have the electoral college, as you brought up, but it's so unbalanced and unfair. The West needs a lot more representation than what they have now to make it fair. So at least the election's not called by the time it hits Southern Ontario. You might as well stop it there, because from there out west to BC means nothing, because the election's already been decided as soon as they hit Southern Ontario, because Quebec and Ontario make up the mass of the, well, Ontario especially
But
make up the mass of the
Edward, every nation in Europe has a variation of this. Look
Yes.
at how many
I
votes
didn't know that.
Nigel. No. Let me go with it for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Look at all the votes Nigel Farage got, and how many seats? Almost none. All right. Look at how many times Le Pen has been super competitive against Macaroni in France, and no matter what the polls say, no matter what the voters say, no matter what, she gets buckus every single time. And this last time was the most egregious, because what they did was, okay, in round one, she trounced them. All right. There was
I
no
remember
question
that.
she was going to be prime minister. All right.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And but we're going to have round two next Sunday.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's get on the phone and let's form all these coalitions and let's stuff the ballot box for round two. So you got paper ballots, but you've already had a preview of what's going to happen. So you redouble your efforts, and you get all your coalition partners together to deny her.
And then
Sound familiar?
What happens?
right before election day, they charge her with crimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I really like her. I think she's an
In
honest.
Romania, the guy fucking wins, and a
Yeah,
judge steps in and says, "Oh no, we're not going
I
to do
remember
that."
that.
Hey,
Yeah.
real quick, I say we got a bunch of watchers. I can't see their names, but I'm guessing that's from Abba's chat room over here to see Edward. I just wanted to say
The
hi to you
dancing
all.
queen,
Yeah.
Edward is dancing
You,
Yeah,
queen
don't
in
think
Abba's
that's
chat room. Yeah,
I have the X chat room open. If you guys want to drop a comment, to Edward, whether you think his hair is beautiful, and this is the
now they're
first
gonna
time
make.
you've seen him on video, or whatnot, I will try to relay those to you, or to you, Edward.
Oh,
Uh,
great news! Yeah, so
and
we can have
if you
fun.
guys if
More
you guys
fun,
will drop a
definitely.
bunch of chats, Sean may even show off his locks. We'll give
You
you
can
a
take.
real incentive. We're going to ditch the baseball cap and go au natural.
Come on,
it's a
ZZ
good
Top
baseball
on
cap.
Yeah,
It's a
okay, there
good
we go.
baseball cap.
Yeah, if you want to see the rest, you got to chat.
Let the long gray locks flow. Yeah,
Uh,
that's real ZZ Top stuff right there. I gotta say. Oh my gosh. Well,
oh,
anyways, gentlemen.
my youngest kid and her friends call me Gandalf the Grey.
Well, actually, there is a resemblance there. I can see where they're getting that from. Oh my gosh! Yeah, you start growing that a little bit. Yep, it's there. As I was
So,
saying,
so apparently, I saw in the chat group, the Avid chat group, that at least Carney didn't do something stupid this time. So what? I didn't read the whole thread. What are you guys
that's
talking about?
well, I
that's
think
an upset. Yeah,
yeah, I think that using Carney in the meeting with the leaders and having him left out and putting a house plant in his place, I think was what they meant by not doing anything stupid, because the plant, it actually had a purpose. It looked great. It didn't say anything stupid for once. So I think the house plant won out. And I think it was perfect that Trump, if it was Trump that did that, good for him, because it did fill a spot. It was colorful, enjoyable, not so bland like, well, Carney usually is with that stupid elbows up thing. Have you heard that stupid thing yet? That elbows up? Oh my God. Oh,
Edward, we don't hear anything about you guys. You
yeah.
gotta understand. We don't get it.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
probably right, because that's just too, and everybody gets so upset here that they don't know anything about us. Well, we don't know anything about Romania either, because they're so small and insignificant. We don't spend any time learning about them because they don't really matter to us. But as Canadians, you think, oh, you got to be the biggest. No, we're not, people. I don't care what your grade 3 school teacher taught you and told you. It wasn't true, but they still
doesn't
follow that
doesn't New
teaching.
doesn't New Zealand have more people?
Probably
I
probably
think
does more than
so.
us. I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, so here we are. And you know what? It's a great country. Don't get me
What
wrong.
about Hong Kong?
Hey,
Right?
They're finally on their own now, and those people, I mean, they basically live on top of each other. That's how crowded that is.
Oh, it's a beautiful city. But they're still trying to maintain their freedom
Yeah,
from China.
yeah.
And we've talked about China before. China just doesn't have the money to conquer the world the way they want to. They
No,
have the desire, and they also have the sheer will to make it last for hundreds of years and train generations of new people to continue to try to conquer the world. They just don't have the finances right now.
no, and I don't think they ever will if the states plays it the way they with that milkshake theory. I don't know if we went through that before or not. Financially speaking, we have on other programs, but if they stuck with that at interest rates and what happens for all those debts, the American dollars are going to go up. You have to cash in more of your own to have more American dollars to give back to the U.S. They're going to bankrupt a lot of countries. So that's why I think Trump's direction and all this stuff is lowering things, so it's not so hot interest wise for the other currencies. I think he's doing a great job. No one even talks about this stuff. And I think it's because the network news stations are trying to hide all the wins he's really getting. He's got W's everywhere, but nobody really talks about him because we don't know about him, or enough of us do, anyways. Uh, let's go back to the chat room with JC. I'm just kidding. I wish you'd stop making fun of me once and for all. Yo, I'll see you at recess, mister. You hear me?
Make my day.
So listen, we've talked about this before, Edward. Obviously, the people in the chat room that we sent the link to, if any of you are watching, I see we got a bunch of watchers. I just can't see it. Who's watching on the phone? Uh, they're the people who are already in the know. They know that X and
Oh,
Rumble
yeah,
don't follow the Canadian censorship plan.
right.
It's the other Canadians that you're going to have to just
Oh,
convert by word of mouth and say, you're not going to believe what happened, and send them a link. You could even send them a link, an X link to this podcast from X, and they can watch it without having an X account.
and without stroking out either on the facts of the matter, which is also very important because there's so many. And you know what? Some of these paid for libtards that are posting on X, it's ridiculous. And hey, they're getting big dollars to say that stuff because nobody wants to be hated that much unless you're getting paid bigly for it, and they are. And I could name some names, but I don't think I should or would. But I'm tempted to, but I don't wanna. But they're like your Harry Sissons, and they just grind on you nonstop. But yeah, that's
I
where we're
just
at.
I just I just keep blocking them. I can't stand it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's probably something
I
I
I,
can.
I finally blocked the Krasensteins once they advocated shooting Putin. That was enough. I'm just like, come on.
Yeah,
I
Right.
that's
mean,
a little bit
are
far.
you serious?
Yeah, and you know what? These other ones that we have here are basically exactly the same as what you're talking about. But if I don't listen to them, I won't know where the people are getting their information from. So I keep track of them anyways, just so when I hear somebody say the exact statement that dumb posted, it's like, oh, I know who you're following right off, and it's not even true. So I'll call them out on it. I got to be able to follow the libtard so I can find out where everybody's getting their information from because it's not from Factville. I can tell you that. But
You guys do realize that no matter how liberalized it's been, and liberalized in a good sense, that the deep state still running Twitter. They are. They are. I mean, I see what comes through my feed, and I
yeah,
know that that's not the
I
engagement. No, no way.
feel better.
Let's reference Grok, because Grok uses all of the whole totality of Twitter to respond to things.
All right.
And
Bro,
it responds to you in a very liberal fashion if you ask a political question, even about history, because all of the information on Twitter, all of the posts on Twitter, like probably 80% of them are all very left leaning. And so that's what Grok has to grab onto when it responds. Somebody asked a question about or made a comment about J6 in a post to Grok. Hey Grok, and Grok's like, yeah, it was there was no election interference, and I simply reposted or posted under Grok and said, "You're spreading disinformation." And it doubled down and listed sources that were like the Heritage Foundation,
Oh,
AP,
really?
Reuters, and I said,
No, boy.
"Your sources lied to you,
Our
Grok." And
eyes.
then I stopped because Grok will keep going. And then I just
Yeah.
stopped that thread.
But you
I,
know what?
I know.
Grok's been
Go ahead,
wrong
Edward.
on so many occasions. JC, I got to put this one point in there. It was just 2 weeks ago that Grok was saying that Trump in 2025 is not even in office at the moment. I'm thinking, what? Well, then who's president? If Trump's not in office right now in 2025, who's the president? That I'm saying to myself, like Grok is not always right. And I've been telling you, Sean, for so long now, we can't just throw all our eggs in that basket called Grok and follow it blindly, thinking that it's not going to lead us down to that path of, well, despair or destruction, which is what's going to happen anyways, because people put far too much trust in some program that somebody definitely programmed to respond in a certain way. And I know what you're thinking, but yes, it all comes back down to X, Y, and Z. Okay,
I've got
Jason.
two things. Two things. I I saw Grok going on about how John Thune supports recess appointments, and I said, okay, I've had enough. All right.
Yeah.
And well, what's the problem? I said the Senate right now is recessed. They went home for 6 weeks. Yet Donald Trump cannot use recess appointments due to pro forma Senate sessions. One guy hangs around and makes a motion every 72 hours, and technically the Senate is still in session, so Trump can't make an appointment. Well, yeah, that's true, but Thune is in favor of recess appointments. I said, hey, Grok, Thune is at home, okay? Thune is on recess. Thune is on 6 weeks of paid vacation, along with the rest of the lazy MFs in the US Senate. All right. And they don't trust their own president. So they've used this little thing that was developed by Harry Reid to block
No,
Bush
no.
from making appointments. And they're doing it to their own president. Remember, Harry Reid was blocking Bush. All right. We
Thank God
blocked
that guy's
Obama
gone.
doing this. All right. But no party has done this to the president of their own party except these feckless, worthless
Yeah.
Republicans.
Yes.
Hey, remember Paul Ryan in 2018?
Yep.
Yeah. And
And he
his
fuck,
buddy, bitch McCommunist.
and he
Yeah, I remember
fucking
that guy.
blocked Trump's last 2 years, right? And he blocked
Yeah.
Trump's last two years of that term.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yep. I
yeah.
And
remember.
now,
Not
and
one
hey,
time,
wait! If
not one time to the border
all
wall.
you guys out there that watch Fox News, Paul Ryan is on the board of directors of Fox News.
What
I
just
don't know why you watch Fox News anymore.
no.
No, turn it off.
And you know what? Now that the two sons are running the whole thing now, instead of what's his name now? God, I can't remember what his name is. The owner, the old man,
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
Murdoch. Yes, that's right. You think I can remember that?
Yeah, the DeSantard guy. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's that guy. Yeah. Anyways, his two sons are running the whole thing now. Anyways, and they're so libtarded, it's not funny. So if you see it kind of going left and turning left again, that's why. So yeah, you're right. There's only a couple programs that might have any sensibility to them whatsoever. And even
Listen.
then,
If you want to see the funny parts of Gutfeld, just scroll your X feed. You
Or
don't
scroll
have
his
to.
X
You
feed.
have
Yeah,
to.
it's all
You
there.
don't have to have Fox. You'll get all the funny shit Gutfeld says in his night show.
And none of the stupidity. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
agreed.
perfect.
Well, good to know. And wrapping that up because I'm not a Fox guy anymore like I was anyways.
The enemy. They're the enemy. They're
Yes.
the enemy.
Anything network news wise, is going to be that way. We have to admit that anything on TV today is not going to be straightforward as a kind of a
Edward,
laughable comment. But
Edward,
yeah,
Newsmax just gave Dominion 67 million.
what?
Yup, they settled. They wouldn't fight the lawsuit on the Dominion.
And you know Dominion's
Really?
dirty. You know they could have won.
Yeah, that's one of my.
Fox News settled early. Newsmax just settled.
787 million.
Yep.
Wow.
That was used to stop Trump. That's what that money was used for.
Yep. I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah.
Newsmax. Now
So
there's only
I
one.
can't look. I can't even stomach, and I know it's one of those internet networks, but Real America's Voice anymore. I can't even watch any of those guys. I just can't.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I'm an ex-war room watcher.
Yeah.
Sure,
Gotta be.
I don't even tune in. I'd
dude,
much
and
rather,
I
what
like
was,
Brianna Morello, formerly of
yeah, I watched
Fox.
her this morning. She's great. I'm actually, by the way, all of you out there, I'm a subscriber to Brianna Morello. I
Sure.
encourage you to do the same thing. $5 a month, totally worth
And I'm glad that she posts her Infowars show over there, but
it.
I don't
Yes,
tune into Infowars either.
but she's better on Infowars than Jones.
Oh, she's great.
Oh
She's
yeah,
great.
Mm.
yeah. She's like a little
So
Megan
don't
Kelly.
subscribe to
Yeah, so
Infowars.
yeah.
Subscribe just for $5 to Brianna,
Right, subscribe,
and
and
you
you'll
will
get all
have
of her
the live
notifications.
feed on X. And by the way, let me tell you all, if you don't know this, X has a smart TV app where you can watch her on your big screen whenever she's hosting a show there.
I'll only do that when she's wearing a red outfit.
Well, I'm gonna have to join in and check this out sometime.
King
Now
Edward,
you
King
mentioned that.
Edward, Italian girls wearing red is. I'm
Well,
sorry, I'm a German. It's why we sacked the Roman Empire. I mean, come on, that's how it works.
no, I get that. I get it. Yep.
I mean,
Oh,
you're looking at the Fraulein or the Hausfrau with the cottage cheese, and you hear the Italian girls are dressed in red just south of you. So hey, let's head on down there.
let's
No.
go.
All right. Oh my
Saddle up, boys. We're riding.
God. We didn't get a chance to talk about any medicine, Mr. Pharmacist there, but I
It's,
have a
it's
story.
not Medicine Tuesday. It's Politics Tuesday.
Oh,
You
okay.
wanted you wanted to talk about Europe and
You're the only one I'm not.
how much
Edward, you're
they're
the only.
kissing Trump's ass
Yeah,
right now because they were all opposed to ending the war 6 weeks ago, and now they're all like,
I
"Yes,
know,
Orange King. Yes, Orange King.
but he was right.
We will pay for the weapons systems and provide the security agreement, and only America, Ukraine, and Russia will benefit from the mutual trade agreements, and we will just suck it."
You know what,
We will
Chad?
pay.
You know what? Our
We will take this ill-gotten wealth we've accumulated off the American subsidy from the last 80 years
true.
and use it to ameliorate this system as long as you don't pull the plug on us entirely.
Yeah,
That's what's going on.
it's true.
Because
And
they
you know what?
know
That's
he
why,
can withdraw all those troops and balance the
of
budget.
course,
He could and
yes.
sink their economies. That's exactly what would happen.
And that's why that dum dum we have, leader of the libtards, didn't get invited anywhere because he had his chance to stand on his ground, stick with the states, but no, he goes with what? The European Union way. And what does Trump do? Manhandles them all, to doing exactly what he wants, and then leaves him out in the cold, Carney, in other words. So he's got nowhere to go now. Can't stick
I'm
with the European Union, can't stick with the states. They froze the guy out, and he deserved it because he's an idiot.
You
But
can't
anyways,
I'm
just
just
kiss one butt cheek. You have to kiss both the left
right,
and
right,
the
right.
right. And
yeah.
when you meet him, you will meet him at one of his properties in your country.
Oh,
He
very
will not come to you. We
correct.
saw that a month ago on his last
It's so.
European tour.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I just love that, and I can't
That's
wait
for
for
security too. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
wait, can't wait for a Trump Tower in Toronto just to stick it to the libtards here. That would be fabulous, absolutely
I can
fabulous.
I can
Make it
see
the
it on
biggest,
I can
highest
see it
one.
on the skyline right now. Trump.
Yep.
Right after the election, I was in Vegas. I was right near Mandalay Bay, where the big shooting happened, and all that. A year later, whatever. And you look down the street, Las Vegas Boulevard. At the end of the street, Trump.
Love that. That's what we need to hear. A great big Trump Tower with Trump in red with the stripe of red tar
It's
right
gotta
down the
be
center of
it's
the
gotta
building,
be
lit
40
up.
stories taller than the needle.
Gotta be,
Yeah,
gotta
it's
be.
ridiculous,
Space
crazy.
Needle. Oh wow. Yeah. Well, that ended that conversation. I mean, it's a good one. We need to have that. I'm going to have to somehow find some application for downtown in Toronto and get this rolling. We need to get a Trump
But
Tower here.
Eric is in charge of property expansion now,
Oh,
and
good. Well, let me get him on the phone then.
yeah,
Yeah,
just look, just call him. It'll be
yeah.
Edward,
fine.
No,
Edward, he's waiting. He's waiting to crash your real estate so he can swoop in.
well, it's happening.
But
Yes.
I know, I know.
but that's the thing. The people who watch TV in Canada, and I'm sorry that this is happening to you. Your
Uh,
news has lied to you.
I'm not
Carney
as
is
sorry as he
Carney
is.
is going to crash your economy.
I
Your
know.
protest against America does not affect America
Doesn't matter.
whatsoever.
No, they think they're
Doesn't
really
matter.
giving it to the states. Oh, we're really doing them harm. I'm thinking, really, people, you have
And
no idea what you're even talking about. We're like this in a bucket. I mean, they have no idea the size and the power of America. Considering going and staying with the European Union, like we're supposed to trade with eventually because they're making all these great trade deals with. I haven't seen one thing in Canada that's made in England yet. Show me one thing that says, "Yep, made in the UK." Nothing. Or made in France. Well, there's a couple things. I do buy some jams and stuff from France, but other than that, nothing. So yeah, it's always been America. It always will be America. And don't blame Trump for the country failing because of tariffs, because that's nothing but another smoke
coming,
screen.
coming out of World War II, this is what they all feared. They saw that the U.S. industrial base was the only thing that was left standing because Japan and Germany were vaporized. England was turned into
Oh,
rubble.
yeah.
France had been destroyed. So the
Uh-huh.
whole Marshall Plan was to allow the Europeans to compete because America truly had what they considered to be an unfair advantage as the winner of the war.
Well,
And and you know
I
the
remember.
idea to play fair and to be subservient to European elite opinion. Frankly, those days ended when Trump got elected because, or started to end when Trump got elected because he's not beholden to them. He
No.
doesn't care what
Okay.
European elites think, and he knows. One more, Sean.
You keep going.
He knows that the WEF, their end game was to replace the United States economic might with China.
Yep. And
That's
they're
what they were
still
going
and
to
they're
do.
still rooting for that to this very
Bankrupt
day.
us, move us out of the way, and bring in China to pay the bills. That was the plan.
Yep, I
Now,
agree.
can you imagine the amount of arrogance necessary to attempt to
Uh,
install that as a great reset? They're
yep.
getting what they deserve.
Trump experienced it personally.
Oh yeah.
He tried to join a golf club in Palm Springs, an elite golf club,
Yeah.
and they said, "No, you're not old money. You're new money." And he says, "What?" And they're like, "You're not old world European rich." And he goes, "But I'm rich as shit." And they said, "But you're not old world European
You're
rich.
American rich.
You're not allowed in this country club." And he says, "So fuck you." And he built a course right across the street, a country
And
club,
it's bigger and better than the other one.
bigger and
Yeah,
better.
of
for
And
course.
him.
so he's experienced this. And he goes, I'm done with you elitist
Yeah.
snobs from Europe thinking that you're the superpower. You're not a superpower. You can't do shit without us. Hey,
Uh-huh.
do you remember when we came over and we obviously there was lots of help, but do you remember when America finally woke up and joined World War II and changed everything?
Yep. Well, they were dragged into it. They didn't want to go to World War II. They were
We
dragged
didn't
into
want to have
it.
anything to do with you
When
guys. Like you guys can
when,
fuck
when
all the way
Japan when
off.
I know it.
Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, yeah.
That's right. So it's not as if
Yeah.
they wanted to go to war; they were dragged into the thing. So I'm glad the outcome was what it
And
was.
there have always been rumors that Pearl Harbor was like a 9/11, that people knew something was coming and they had an idea that we were going to get attacked. And Roosevelt wasn't completely against it because he wanted to get in the war.
Huh, I didn't know that.
I can't rule it out.
Yeah, I can't say
Well,
yes or no.
I got to go back to the
I
last.
can't either. I don't have any proof. It's what my mother always thought, so
Well, it could be
it had an
true.
effect on me. And remember, we're Germans. So, my mom would not be real happy with the treatment Germany got after World War One. I mean, that's how my grandmother ended up in the United States in the first place. I mean, she's a mail order bride.
Hey, I think a lot of us are
My
more German than
family,
you know.
not all of them made it, but my family after World War One fled to where? Russia to get transported to the New World. Oh, because Russia's the bad guy, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Germans
God, there's
fled
another.
on foot into Russia so
into
that they
Russia.
could, because they were just getting decimated, living in absolute poverty in Germany, and they went to Russia and said, "Please, can
Help us.
I've got $10, but I'll work off the debt. Will you send me to America?" And they did, and then my in 1914 ish, my family starts to arrive, and they both go to Canada and into Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan.
Where mine come from? Yeah.
And my dad's family was in Virginia first, then Ohio. And then of course they ended up in Arkansas. I mean, you can see there's a little hick vibe going here. But my mom's side was basically pure from old country. I mean, my grandfather's name was my name, and he died like 3 months before I was born. So there was no other name I was going to have, and his last name was Weber. Okay, so I mean, this is Little John, the German prince. Okay, so yeah, that was
Well,
my
and
destiny.
these are
Yeah.
assimilation stories too, because yes, we had help from Russia to get here, but we all came in a German and we became American as fast as we could.
We
Yeah.
We
had to.
assimilated.
Woodrow Wilson was persecuting us.
I
That's
didn't
that's where
know.
that's where German
Wow.
character left the United States. It was virtuous to be American, so you weren't accused of dual loyalty or anything
Of
like that.
course.
I mean,
Yeah.
Germans. It was treacherous to be ethnic German. Really was.
Well, I
Yes.
gotta say,
And I
Duncan
mean, the
Keith for
benefits
that.
of being American are obvious. Which is why your parents said, "Oh no, none of that. We're Americans. We're not loyal to anything but this nation."
By the way, I got to back up now. That you got to start it down that road, JC. And well, actually, it was you, Sean, that brought that up about coming over and Trump and the golf course and whatnot. You know, the European old money, the snobber you were talking about, the class system, the classifications that you had to come from a certain.
It came from the system of the Dutches and the Essex and all of
Uh-huh.
that crap.
Yeah. So, and we ran away from all that and religious persecution. Remember, we talked about that. Oh, God, I don't know how many shows ago that was, but yeah, well, that's why we came to America to begin with, and to get away from, you could be whatever you want in America. You
Get
didn't have
away
a
from
class to
that.
follow, any
That's
religion.
exactly right.
It
Yeah.
was
So,
get away from that,
so
and we started in the early 1500s. All of those perished. The first one that was
oh, yeah.
successful was Plymouth. Jamestown, which was 10 years earlier, they all perished. It was
They didn't make
Plymouth.
it.
And then William Bradford, because the governor that came with us had died on the ship on the way over. And then William Bradford was able to successfully convert them from socialism to capitalism and give them each individual value to their properties. And that's
Remember?
when Europe found out about that, the greater Europe found out
Oh
about the
yeah.
Plymouth colony. They're like, holy shit, we're going to the new world. And
Mhm.
so William Bradford started the whole thing.
And that's why
Yeah.
we're so thankful.
Right.
Thanksgiving, Sean. Got to have another show like that, by the way. As far as the very start of Thanksgiving, we got to do another one of those because it's important, and too few people realize that, or even we're not taught that, and we should all be
Prior to
taught
that,
that.
Edward, prior to that, we all had Canadian values. We all were going to share.
We're
It was
all
utopia. We
that's
were going
right.
to from each according to his abilities, to each according to his needs. And they looked around after half of them were dead and said, "We're all going to starve.
Exactly.
We've got to do something else."
Uh
You
huh.
guys are about to have that same moment, and I would, would encourage you to declare independence
I
at the
know.
earliest possible date.
I'm still working on that, but a whole lot of people still need convincing out there. that just don't get it. And a lot of them, they don't have the, well, can I say, the wherewithal to stand on their own 2 feet, because they're so used to government handouts and getting money from the government. They can't make it on their own. Most of them have a government job. So if they say anything, objectionable,
so they don't do
You
any work. Yeah.
well,
you
yeah,
wait, but eventually you run out of other people's money, and then
I
the
know.
government can't pay government workers. But that is, if you watch, even in America under Obama and Biden, the the size of the federal workforce increased
I know.
tenfold. They're
I know.
like, we'll just give you government jobs.
That's what,
But it's thank God Trump is using the Doge model and trying to
It is working.
yeah.
very well. But you got it's not just Canada; it's the whole of Europe that's going
Oh
down this
yeah.
path,
I
and
know.
their economies are going to collapse. And you're going to see borders redrawn, and everyone's going to go, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yep.
In America, I tell you what, if America stays under Trump and then JD for 8 years, we're just going to sit on the sidelines and watch.
Well, you know what? This is and my point again is why the only place for us, the only logical place for us to go from here is America. Go back to where we came from, and that's America. That's well, because we all came from Britain, so I mean, or England. So I mean, we're going back to where we started, just under a different flag. But we're still basically the same. Just and some of us are still socialists, just like some of the Americans are thinking that same. Like you go to California, some of the dum dums over there. I mean, they think so much like the libtards we have up here. They might also just go to California. They'd fit right in. But that's
All the
another.
socialists, so all the socialist pilgrims that didn't die went to Canada, right?
Probably, yeah. That in
Yeah,
California.
that's a good one. And I say no. I think socialism crept in through the college system.
Yes.
And they were willing because China, the CCP, not a very old country, but their mindset has been around forever. Is
Yeah.
like
Middle Kingdom. Yeah.
we can slow creep this over centuries, and if we just build up that your government is uh is the worst government ever, and you will love it if you just join communism. We'll give
Mhm.
everybody what you need, is what they
Mhm.
tell you,
Oh yeah.
and what they'll give you is a mud hut and nothing else.
You mean the
Or you
government
can
lied
live
to
in a
us?
Shanghai high rise and they'll fly drones around saying, give up your dreams of freedom. You know?
Yeah, like Minority Report, the
Yeah,
Yeah.
movie.
that's happening. That's happening now. We call
Oh
that
shit, really?
Your QR code is yellow. You can't buy gas.
right. That's right.
What?
Yeah. We call that CBC up here.
Well, no, Edward, that's one of my favorite memes, and I'm going to send it to you on DM so you can give it to Abba's group.
What's that?
It's 1958 garbage truck, and it shows a
Oh,
garbage truck,
yeah.
like Trump drove, in the campaign, and this says 2020 garbage truck, and it's the CBC,
Yeah, I did see that because it's so
Canadian
true.
Broadcasting Company,
Yeah,
right?
that's,
Yeah.
that's that's the drones flying around right there. That's us. That is them. So yeah, oh my god, good comparison. Oh wow.
Well, look, I guess our hope for you in your country, if from America's standpoint, is that you figure out that you want to actually, like, not you, not the ABBA chat room. You guys are all
No,
on
no,
board.
no. The
It's
Dancing Queens are
the,
okay.
the whole of the country,
I
right?
hate
The
you,
whole of the
DC.
country finally figures out, holy crap, there's totally other media out there, and there's
Yeah.
ways we can find it, whether it's through VPNs or whatnot, and start to hear about what's going on from a standpoint, or just like us, like when we talk about what Trump's doing, and they're going to go, that is not what is on my TV and my Facebook.
I know. And don't
If
all boomers need to know how to use a cell phone to get news?
any Canadians who want to be enlightened by someone less brutal than JD, Mark Stein is not a name you hear much anymore because of ill health. One of the most brilliant authors of the last 30 years. He's a one-man global content provider, as he calls himself. And this is a shameless plug. His books are golden. America Alone. Just those books will summarize everything for you that you want to know. And he even blends in the Canadian experience with what's going on in America and paints you a global picture of the fetid aristocracy of Europe and all the grandees that he sees over there, and basically all the problems of the first world. And I'm just so sad that he's ill, because we've really lost a strong voice.
Mark
And I know he
Stein,
isn't.
I'm gonna back you up. Mark Stein's incredible. Mark Stein used to host Rush Limbaugh when Rush Limbaugh
Yes,
he was in the rotation, and remember his opening line was, "I'm sorry you're not hearing Rush. I'm bringing this show to you from the northernmost command post in frozen Maine," and then the song starts. Dum,
right.
dum,
He
da,
also,
da, da, da,
And
da, da,
and on
da,
top of,
da,
but
da.
he'll go there about the jihad. He'll go there about every issue. He'll go there about European issues and Canadian issues, because he's a Canadian. He really is.
Mhm.
And yet he's an immigrant to the United States.
yay!
And yeah, and even remember how much trouble he got in on GBN News over there because he was blowing the whistle on vaccine injuries. So,
Yep.
Edward, you're one of our favorite hobby horses about what the vax is really about. Mark Stein's totally on it. And unfortunately, he's been struck down, I think, by it. I think he took it, and,
GBN
that, and it,
GBN basically put him on. They let him record his show and show it at 3 a.m.
3 a.m. Who's watching TV then? Nobody.
East Coast Americans, because by the time that plays, right,
Yeah.
it's what
he's a massive truth teller. I mean, I
Love
love
the
him.
guy.
I
No.
really do. I
Yeah.
love him. And anyone who can call me an anti-Semite, Mark Stein is a hero of mine. And David Horowitz, hero of mine.
None of them are.
They are not made of the same stuff as Tel Aviv Levin. All right?
No, yeah. There's another, yeah, we could talk lots about that, but I
Eh,
wanted to
well,
finish off.
to your point, John, is there's plenty of great content you can find that will kind of jog your mind through
What's
everything
just
that's
happened
going
to
on
you?
if you're not plugged in the way that you and I are.
Yeah, it'll let Mark Stein will help you understand what has just happened, because he had a ringside seat for all of it, and he talked about all of it fearlessly
It was a lot like
until the
us.
vaccine struck him down.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to bring the show back to the beginning where we started when you talked about the biggest mistakes America made in the 1912, 13, 14, 15 era there. It wasn't what you said. The biggest mistake America made was the Federal Reserve, allowing the Federal Reserve in 1913 to even have anything to do with America or its
You know
money.
what? You know how they sold it to us, and it was a constitutional amendment that they got through. Was
How?
that we have to pay back? We have to pay for the entire world to recover from World War I.
But why is it
So
America?
we're gonna federalize the bank and sell war bonds.
But that was before World War One started in 1914 to
Yeah, but everybody
14.
knew it was coming. Remember, Edward,
Oh, all right,
Dominion status was because Britain knew that the war was coming, and they
right,
knew
right.
they wanted the sons of Canada to fight. And if they didn't give you a little something like Lyndon Johnson gave to the blacks in the '60s,
Gotcha. Yeah.
you wouldn't commit the troops, and you fell for it. I
Uh-huh.
mean, we eventually fell for it too. You know,
Well, the worst thing again, other than that, was the seizing of gold and silver in the 1932, 1933 era, where Americans, it was un-American to own gold and silver. You had to have the American dollar, which is true, but it's not un-American to have gold. I mean, that was what America was filled with, gold and silver. Uh,
Andrew Jackson started the real conversation about the bank. The arguments in America in the late 1800s going into 1900 were always about money. William Jennings Bryan, the national bank, the whole idea of the currency and everything like that, and we fell for it with the Federal Reserve. They got their way,
yeah,
and
well,
and we've been paying for it for those same 100 years that I just talked about. And by the way, for those people that think FDR was so great to blacks, you might just take a look at the fact that in 1940, the U.S. Congress passed a bill outlawing lynching nationwide, and he didn't sign it.
I never liked that guy to begin with, anyways, and that was just because of the gold and silver, what he did to confiscate, But yeah, that's another.
Well, but that goes back into. So there's a belief, and it's propaganda, and it's worked very effectively, that the left-leaning parties in any country in the West are right, they're the saviors of the black folk.
They're the biggest racists of all.
And they are the biggest racists of all, and they want a multi-class system. They always have. And I'll remind you,
with
in
them on top.
Wisconsin, there's a church that still stands today that is on the historical record. It still stands. It is where the Republican Party was founded.
Started.
And they were founded with the primary principle to end slavery.
Yeah. Wasn't it Illinois? The state of Illinois?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
Little church, white building, still stands today.
Seen that, yeah.
And gee, you didn't hear about that in school, did you?
No, God, no, I know. I just wanted to throw that back in there as far as one of the worst things America could have done. Because, even though I'm Canadian.
That's right there. That's right there with the Russians repelling the British to preserve the North in the Civil War. Yeah, that's one of those things that we just don't talk about.
No, can't do it. No, because people will start to realizing, hey, and I have to laugh about the public school system. That's going to be a whole other show of where they came from, Prussia. We're really going to talk about why and how we ended up to where we are today, because I think you'll find it just as amusing as I did, how we got into this, training kids up to be obedient, with the rows of desks, the start and stop times being so exact. Oh, it's recess, ding, bell again, come on back in, We have to get into that sometime, because that is hilarious.
As proud as I am of those boys that wanted those Italian girls in red, I got to tell you, when it comes to top-down government control, they didn't do us any favors. I mean, the Frankfurt School, all that nonsense, it's all German top-down bullshit. All right, sorry.
We're out of time. I got to say, Edward, we're going to poke fun at you one more time. Hey, if you want to join any of the other podcasts we do besides Tuesday, we would love to have you, but we got to close this one out.
All right. You guys did an okay job.
I had fun.
The Yankee and The Canuck make a triumphant return.
I love it. I'm glad he's back. Send it to all your friends once you find the post on X, Edward.